Now, in this particular lecture, we are going to discuss about one of the basic important human-based competency for leadership. As you have already mentioned earlier, that in this particular course, we are not going to talk about very fancy leadership competencies, which is very difficult to develop, and obviously which requires a long working experience and different types of scenario exposure. So obviously that kind of leadership comes over a period of time. But on the other hand, to manage our day-to-day job, to manage our different basic activities, and also to grow ourselves, we all need some result oriented leadership skill sets, which actually not only comes from experience but actually primarily comes from our basic human competency. If we are a little bit aware, if we think in a very structured way, and if we manage the things in a very systematic manner, that kind of leadership competencies can be developed very easily. One of that leadership competency is sense making. Yes, whenever we are speaking with someone or managing any kind of activity, sense making is very important. We cannot talk in a way which actually makes no sense, which actually giving us no result, which actually has no objective. Yes, a lot of time we speak with people in a casual manner without even thinking about the consequences and the outcome of it. But if we really want to develop our leadership skill set, and if we really want to get an outcome from different activities and different types of involvement, sense making is very important. Sense making not only talking in a very sensible manner, it's also talking in a very structured manner. Say for example, if you are speaking about any particular event or any particular activity, you need to speak in a very structured way. Maybe a step by step approach must be there in your communication. 5 steps, 6 steps, step by step approaches must be mentioned, so everyone, whoever is listening to you, whoever is involved with you, can understand what exactly you are trying to say. I'll give you some examples to explain it in a better way. So, say for example, you are managing one event in your locality. Forget about your organization as well, which is maybe a kind of New Year event for your locality, and everyone is looking at you to understand what kind of things must be done to manage this activity and to make it successful. Obviously you can speak a lot, like what are the things going to happen, how you are going to arrange the event, what are the different types of activities must be there, how will you collect money, and different people will talk in a different way, they will express their opinion. But on the other hand, if you are not speaking in a structured manner, there will be no outcome of that particular discussion. Because at the end of the discussion, at the end of any kind of meeting, maybe people always would like to have some action items. And what are the things they must follow? A lot of people you will see will talk about many things, everything, but not in a sensible manner. It's your job, or anyone who is trying to play the role of a leader, to make it in a structured, in a step by step approach, so everyone can understand what is going to happen, what will be the sequence of event, and what are the outcomes, and what will be their responsibility according to what timeline. So if you really want to play the leadership role in managing such an event, at first you will speak that what is the program you are looking forward. So to do that, what are the different step by step approach you will follow? Number one, collecting the money. So what is the process of collecting the money? What will be the budget? Number two, how to utilize the budget. What are the different steps you will do to utilize the budget? Maybe arranging a platform, maybe borrowing different types of technical instruments, borrowing artists, or also creating some groups who will perform, and then coordinating with them, speaking with them, them obviously communication across the locality about the event. So different types of yes, banners and leaflets, or maybe local different posters can be distributed. And then on the event day, how the event will happen, who will managing what, and what would be the kind of expectation after the end of the event. And yes, very important, all this task must be there, created as an action item. Some would be as a ownership, take on ownership, and also according to the timeline. But whoever is doing this particular activity to manage or to take the ownership to create the entire structure will be considered as a leadership. So someone who has a leadership quality. One thing is for sure, if you really want to play a leadership role, sensible talk, structured talk, and a talk from where an outcome can come is very important. Similarly, if you're working in an organization and you are maybe a very junior resource, just join the organization. But on the other hand, in a brainstorming session, when you are not able to understand what kind of project management methodology must be followed for the client, and everyone is speaking about their thought process, that someone is saying I want to follow agile, someone is saying I want to follow waterfall, someone is saying just forget about it, try to concentrate on the delivery, and someone is saying okay, let us do something, let us follow the safe agile. Someone is saying no, we will not even follow any project management methodology, it must be managed by a service management methodology like ITIL. Now, obviously, this kind of discussion will produce no result. At the end of the day, what you want to do, you want to get an answer. You want to follow one methodology to manage your project. So, someone who is going to try that, okay, fine, we have listened to everyone. Now, let us jot down our options and let us see which option can be feasible for the implementation and what would be the outcome if we implement this. And then, if something is matching, which is more close to the outcome and the kind of objective of the project, we must follow that. And then to do that, what are the different criterias, what are the different methodologies we will follow, that also must be jotted down. So you will see a lot of examples on most of the cases. Someone like a project manager or a senior executive will take the role, but in the absence of someone like this, it's almost no one who will do this. So someone who will take care of the responsibility will always considered as a leadership. I understand at a beginning level, at a junior level, this kind of initiative is very difficult. People may not listen to you, may not give importance to you, but at least if you try to do that and create, make some sensible talk, gradually you will see over a period of time, in a very short period of time, people will start listening to you. People will listen to you and will value your opinion and also respect your opinion. If you see any leaders in the world, they have not started their leadership journey. Most of the celebrated leaders, they have not started their leadership journey with a designation, with a proper power and authority. They started with their thought, they started with their sensible speaking. Everyone was looking forward to get rid of the British rule from India. Everyone in India was looking forward for that kind of activity, but there were, very unstructured approach. If you see the overall freedom struggle, there were some movement across the country. Those are not interconnected with each other, and obviously it is very regional in nature. And overall, there was no positive result coming across the country. Mahatma Gandhi was the only person who thought that if you really want to get the freedom, it has to be a country-wide movement. It may be a non-violence movement, because violence movement can create a lot of havoc, chaos across the organization, and British operation can be much more. So therefore, let us create pressure on the government. Nowadays, till date, we follow that kind of procedure across the world. We process non-violence movement, because if in a country, if you really want to struggle against your government, if you really want to fight against the decision of your government, you cannot follow non-violence, not possible. But you cannot follow violence, not possible, but you can follow non-violence movement. You can protest, you can create different types of movement where you will sitting on the street, that kind of things are possible. And whenever a lot of people are coming together, whenever a structured movement is happening, the government has to give importance. They cannot say that I am going to ignore, because it's a very regional and local activity. So obviously a structured thought process and involving everyone is very important whenever you are talking about leadership. So any kind of leader, they started without any title, they started without any authority, but their sensible thought, their structured thought, their sense making actually makes the difference. And that's how anyone, in the locality, in their organization, in any kind of activity, can showcase their leadership. Leadership is not only coming from experience. Again, I'm repeating, leadership doesn't come only from experience. It's a kind of competency. Sometimes it's a human thought process, basic human thought process, but a lot of cases we forget about that. And that's how someone can become a leader and can differentiate himself or herself from others. One of the important thought process and important competency is sense making. While speaking, while expressing your thoughts or ideas, or whenever you are sharing some kind of suggestions as well. Thank you.